So thank you all very much for joining us this evening. I'm Jannine Birtwistle and I'm the Peace Building and Conflict Prevention Specialist in Rotary Great Britain and Ireland. And we organise these informal sessions every month to 2 months where it's open to any Rotarian and Rotaractor to join us either for a general discussion or for specific ones. And our last meeting was with a couple of people from the Ukraine Crisis Taskforce in Great Britain and Ireland, and I promised you that our next one would be with some members from Ukraine who are on the front lines within the country, just dealing with it. But if not, try waving at me. Can I please ask you, we are here to listen to the people from Ukraine. We are here to ask them questions if we've got any. We are not here to give a speech ourselves. We want to see what we can do to help them, and they can tell us what's really going on. So let's have that mutual respect and giving everybody the necessary time. All of our peace building work in Great Britain and Ireland and across the world, and in fact all of the service we do, is about providing the optimum environment for human potential to flourish. And absolutely, peace is the core of that. And we have to just see what's been going on in Ukraine. You know, without peace, service becomes incredibly difficult or impossible. Our service actually creates peace. We need to be working together as an organisation, much more than we already do. In Great Britain and Ireland, we have got an amazing online event on Saturday, the 18th of June. It's from 10 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. It's open to everybody, but they do have to register in advance. And it's very much about the fact that every one of us is a peace builder, whether it's building peace for ourselves personally, in our families, in our communities, in our clubs, whatever. And this event is really about trying to make us understand how simple it is and how powerful it can be when we look at it more holistically than we sometimes have done. And there will be some fantastic world-class speakers leading us through that event. So I do hope you will consider registering. We are all peacebuilders.eventbrite.co.uk. But we're here to talk about Ukraine, and we have got a task force here in Great Britain and Ireland, which is led by Allan Smith from the Jersey Rotary Club. And our role is to provide a Rotary coordinated approach to the crisis, especially to displaced people both leaving and within Ukraine, and communicate that to Rotarians throughout the UK and Ireland. And on that task force, I'm on the task force, James Onions from ICC, Anthony Beaver, who is one of the public image coordinators, Dr. John Phillip, who is also the chair of the International Rotary Fellowship of Healthcare Professionals, who is doing so much as an organisation to help, Mike Parry, who is a whiz on foundation, Peter King, who's linking in with the team based in Great Britain and Ireland, and District Governor Roger Stent, who's liaising with all the district governors. As well as our team, we have got the Ukraine Resilience team, which is where it's looking at helping the guests when they are in the country, as indeed with many other of our refugees from other countries. And the lead there is Cheryl Berry, who is the service team, the co-lead, and then Brenda Parsons and Peter Dowse. But what we're here to do today is really to listen. But what I want to do, first of all, is to ask Allan Smith, who is the chair of the task force, if there's anything that Allan would like to say before we introduce our dear visitors.
Good evening, everyone. Delighted to be here supporting Jannine. Everything she said is absolutely spot on. We cannot do anything without peace. I'm delighted that our colleagues, our Rotarian friends in the Ukraine are with us tonight. I'm not going to make any speeches. As Jannine said, we're here to listen.
Thank you very much, Allan. So I'm going to allow the Ukrainian team to introduce themselves. Now, I understand that Boris is going to be the first person that is going to be talking to us. Boris is from the Rotary Club of Ukraine Unity. So Boris, over to you, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm really pleased to be able to speak to you and speak with you, share some information that might be helpful to you, and also answer any questions that you might have concerning what we're doing, how you can help, and how we can join together to try to resolve some of the issues that are being raised by the situation that our country here in Ukraine is in at the moment. 2 words about myself. If you think that I have a particularly English accent, it's because I was born in Leicester. And my parents were from Ukraine, left Ukraine during the Second World War, and met in England, in fact. And I was born in Leicester and spent most of my life, in fact, working in London. Moved for a short period of time to Switzerland and have been living in Lviv in Ukraine, which is the largest city in Western Ukraine near the Polish border, for the last 3.5 years. And when I moved to Ukraine, I joined Rotary as a means of getting to know people, getting to become involved in doing good works, and have established myself as part of the team in Rotary in Ukraine. Rotary in Ukraine is a district containing 62 clubs spread all over the country. Inevitably, there is a concentration of clubs in some of the bigger cities. In the capital Kyiv, there are 11 clubs. In Lviv, there are 9 clubs, including my club, which is the passport club for our district. So it doesn't have a particular geographical affinity, but most of our members are based in Lviv, Ukraine. But we do have members in various other parts of the world, including England, the US, and various countries of Europe. At the moment that the invasion occurred, the Ukrainian district got together and created a crisis coordinating committee in order to focus on what we could do as Rotarians to solve 2 primary consequences. One being the immediate consequence of refugees fleeing from the areas where fighting was and the attacks were starting to take place. And there was a huge surge of refugees in the first few weeks of the conflict and the war. And so our first concern was to try to help those who are fleeing to relative safety, to provide that to them, and to also help those that wanted to cross the border into safer countries to do so. And very much Western Ukraine, where I'm based in Lviv, became a bit of a corridor for people fleeing, which created a lot of pressure on the local resources and communities. And we did everything we could to help those that were staying, and to also on the border help those who were crossing the border into Poland. And that was a very, very difficult time. And at the same time, the other primary concern for us was to do what we could to bring in supplies and distribute them around the country of what was needed, when it was needed, where it was needed, where it was in some cases very difficult to get to certain parts of the country because of the fighting. We were still able to do that because we focused on working through our Rotary network around the country, which reaches into some of the very difficult parts of where there was a lot of fighting earlier on in the north and northeast of the country, and even currently now in the southeast of the country, in the Donbass and that area. I don't really want to talk about the war and what's happening in respect of that, because I think it's all fairly vivid, and you can see what's happening in the news and social media that's being reported about the state of the invasion and the fighting and the atrocities that are being perpetrated on Ukrainian people in those parts of the country. But I wanted to just use the opportunity and do it with my colleagues as well, to share with you the kind of things that we're doing both within the country and outside of Ukraine. Both in connecting with Rotarians around the world, and also offering help and understanding as to how people outside the country, Rotarians outside the country, can help Ukrainian refugees in their local areas to help them feel safe, to help them feel welcome, and to give them an opportunity to lead normal lives while they, as we all wait for this horror to end, and so that they can return home. A very broad overview. What I'd like to do is introduce also my good friends and colleagues, Sergii Zavadskyi, past district governor, and also Hennadii Kroichyk, who has also been able to join us. I can't actually see anybody else from Ukraine here at the moment, but I know that we do have a friend he's Ukrainian, who's originally from England, Olha Paliychuk, who is our medical coordinator of our medical team as well. So I'd like to hand over to them for them to give some insight into the kind of things that we're doing and how we're organising ourselves and how we're interacting with Rotary around the world.
Thank you very much, Boris. I don't know who's going to be speaking next, but over to you, however you want to do it. I'm just going to try and, so hopefully you've now got the four of you. So over to you. You tell us what you're doing and then what you need from us.
Thank you, Jannine. Good evening to everybody. First of all, I would like to thank for the opportunity to see so many friends, so many Rotarians, and not only from the Great Britain and Ireland, but also I see some people who joined from other countries, Canada and maybe some other. Greetings to you from Ukraine. I'm now located in Kyiv, and actually I'm originally from Kyiv, Rotarian from Rotary Club Kyiv City, and I had a honor to be a past district governor. I was a district governor of District 2232 in year 2018-19, so a few years ago. Currently, I'm participating in the, let's call it crisis committee, call it coordination committee, whatever, which is coordinating activity of our Rotary clubs in Ukraine, which was formed practically from the very beginning of what happened in February. Our initial efforts were concentrated on very quick support to people who needed such help, humanitarian aid, and further things. And at the same time, day by day, week by week, we were more and more structured with our work, which we were doing as a district, as a Rotary in Ukraine. We, apart from this coordination, which is actually twice a day, we meet with the representative of every club who can participate. Representative of each club can participate to this coordinating meeting with the key people who are responsible for some key committees and key activities. And we run this every day coordination, mostly about some hot issues, news, needs, and whatever needs to be done further. In addition to that, it was clear that from the very beginning that we need to create special hubs, and these hubs, logistics hubs, were created in the cities close to the western border, where it was actually the source of all help, which we were getting from different countries, including Great Britain and Ireland. And Boris already mentioned the city of Lviv. Another city I can mention, Uzhgorod, Chernivtsi, Rakhiv, Izmail. There were a couple of cities where we have Rotary clubs, active Rotarians, which helped us to organize, first of all, how to cross the border with the help of our colleagues Rotarians from other countries, but also how to store the goods, how to transport them further within the country. This was our first, let's say, step into this issue, into this crisis, which appeared end of February, beginning of March. Then, and our major efforts at the very beginning were concentrated on medicines, some special medical things, food, warm clothing, hygienic stuff, and slowly, week by week, we realized that more sophisticated things could be provided. We started to supply electrical generators, ambulances, firefighting trucks, and this was getting to be more and more sophisticated. From financial standpoint, we have opened our own accounts, and also we know that Rotarians from all over the world, we were sending their funds to the disaster response fund, which was opened by Rotary International, and both were wise decisions. With our accounts, we were able to react very quickly, and with the money from the disaster response fund, now we can really use significant amounts of collected by Rotarians from all over the world to be able to support projects of Rotary clubs. And these activities follow, and we then created some special groups which helped us to get more expertise, both from Rotarians and not only from Rotarians, but from experts in some specific areas like medical, which was from the very beginning. And we have here Dr. Olha Paliychuk. She may tell you more about activities of this fellowship of healthcare professionals, which was from the very beginning very, very active to help us with many things needed badly by many people in Ukraine. Then appeared the issue with water, and I know that here is another Rotarian from Ukraine, Artem Vashchilenko. He's from Rotary Club in Mykolaiv, which is practically on the front line now, and they had a very big issues with water. He can describe you these particular situations which they were going through. So we created we call it WASH group, which we didn't have before, but we realized that without the expertise of experts, it is difficult to understand how we can react in the most efficient and the practical way, because there were many advices what could be done, how, but we needed the support of experts, and we created our own group. But also it was very good that by initiative from Rotarians and district governors from Great Britain and Ireland, international group of experts, Rotary experts, was created to support these activities with clean water. Recently, we have started a special group focused on logistics. We understand that logistic issues are complicated, not easy, and we need to connect delivery of goods from the place where it starts to the end of beneficiaries which need to get it. And we created such a group in Rotary in Ukraine, and we continue now to develop these links with our colleagues who are dealing with the logistics in other countries. So I can tell more about our activities, but I would prefer to give a word to Artem Vashchilenko from Rotary Club Mykolaiv to tell us a little bit more from the front line. He was in the city, which is getting the missiles attacks practically every day. And they are continuously operating as Rotarians, reacting to the needs of people under these really war conditions. Artem, please tell us your story. Maybe not too long, because we need to allow a little bit to other people who are present here. Hennadii, Olga, maybe Artur also would like to say a few words. Please, Artem.
Hello, everybody. Pleasure to be part of this meeting today. Pleasure to see all of you. The greetings from the southern front, as Sergei already mentioned. The city of Mykolaiv is basically on the front line here in the south, a few kilometers from Kherson, now occupied by Russian Federation Army. And basically most of Mykolaiv Rotary Club members, in the very beginning, the first day of the war, we took the decision that we will stay in our community, continue providing the service to the people in need in Mykolaiv. Basically, most of our club members are now here, and they are part of the humanitarian movement we are running here. I am in my club, I am the past president, and from the first day of war, I'm coordinating the humanitarian hub. The part of this hub is Rotary Club Mykolaiv, also the Mykolaiv business community, maritime cluster of Ukraine, Mykolaiv Region Business Association, Business Support Center. So basically, we unite the business community of Mykolaiv to unite the resources and give their opportunity for volunteers to work together. There are several focuses we are dealing with. One is basically the food supply for the people here in Mykolaiv and also the regions, the districts around. And currently, this is our focus number one. I would like, using this opportunity, to thank the Rotarian Fellowship of Medical Specialists, and Olga is here. So we do receive the strong support from them on the medical side, supplying our local hospitals, also the hospitals who are treating our soldiers who came from the front, and also the people who been damaged because of the everyday attacks here in Mykolaiv, in the city, and also in their small villages, small districts on the front line and behind the front line from Kherson region, because these people are moving to Mykolaiv, and here in local hospitals, they receive the first treatment. Yes, every day we have the missile attack, and from the last 2 days, we are receiving their artillery attacks from the territory of Kherson region. For Mykolaiv, one of the issues, and Sergei already mentioned it, is the fresh drinkable water. The matter is that Mykolaiv receiving all its water supply from Dnieper River, and the pipeline supplying the Mykolaiv, it goes through the Kherson region, and more than 1 month ago, it was destroyed by Russian army. It happens that 500,000 city of Mykolaiv was without any water, no technical water for sanitary needs, neither portable water to drink. And for Rotary, the water issue is one of their one of our services focus. So we stress our attention also on this. We try to attract our international partners, and with the help of their international organization, People in Need, we managed to buy more than 40,000 empty cans. We brought them to Mykolaiv, and then we also invite the local business community to support. We contacted the owners of the private springs around Mykolaiv area. Then we load these empty cans. We go to the springs. People voluntarily there fill them with the drinkable water. We load it on the trucks, brought to Mykolaiv, and gave this water to the people in need here in the city. It's more than 350,000 tons. We proceed, and we brought it to the people in Mykolaiv. We also in water issue, not only these cans, but also we were working together with the Rotary clubs in Ukraine. For example, our colleagues from Izmail supplied us with the bottled water. Our friends from Odessa also. Our colleagues from Yuzhny and Chernomorsk and other cities also were involved, helping us to bring the drinkable water for the people in Mykolaiv. For the last 2 weeks, thanks to the local government activities, we do now have the technical water in our pipelines. The matter is that Mykolaiv is a peninsula, and we do have the water, but it's a salted water from the estuary, because the water from the Black Sea, it comes to the estuary. So the water now in the water supply system, it's salted. It's okay to use it for the sanitary needs. It's so to use it for washing, but it's no way to drink this water. So the problem of drinking, the portable water for Mykolaiv is still the problem. And I give you the example what we managed to do with the Rotary International Fund and with the Rotary Disaster Fund because of the grant we did together with our colleagues from Rotary Club Kyiv. And this project, it will actively start this week. We call it the Drinking Water Front. So we bought the 920-liter cans. We gave these cans for the local drinkable water supplier. We pay them to fill this water, and these cans will be delivered addressly to the families with the small kids. 900 families will receive 5 times, it means 100 liters of drinkable water to give it first to the kids. So this is one of the examples of absolutely Rotarian designed, managed, and thank you financed projects in the field of water supply. I have many stories about what we are doing, how we are supporting the people who are now homeless because their apartments were destroyed by Russians. Their people who are evacuated to Mykolaiv and to the area between Mykolaiv and Odessa, but still in Mykolaiv region, because this is more safer territory. There are less attacks there, so people can stay there. So we also supporting these communities with the necessary goods, also food and hygienic stuff and other things. Also, there are things like Sergii mentioned, like more sophisticated stuff, electric generators, etc. We're receiving and giving it to their to the units, to their associations, to the people who need it here. And one of our good cases is the support to local fire department, because this is also the people who are currently fighting not with the enemy directly, but with the results of their Russian attacks. Every day they have something like 100 calls because of the missiles, because of unblown missiles around the city, because of fire caused by these occasions. So because of the support of Rotarians from 5 countries, we brought here the big the fire machine there, and we gave it to our fire department here. So if you will have any questions, I am at your disposal. Please excuse me for some emotions, because it's very important for us to feel and to know that our Rotarian friends are together with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are absolutely here with you, and we really want to help. Sergii, do you want to say anything more? Do we want Olha to say anything from the medical side?
I could just suggest whoever is ready, it's no such a program, but maybe to introduce and to say some words and some comment and address Hennadii, or Hennadii, if you are prepared, maybe you or Olha or Artur, whoever from my colleagues. I see also Olha Jabovich. Whoever is ready from my Ukrainian side, please Hennadii.
Let me, Sergei, following you. Good evening, everybody. I'm very happy that this meeting, as well as the many other meetings, really show us the support of Rotary worldwide to us, to our country, to people in need. What I want to add, now I'm still in the hub in Lviv, together with Boris, with some other friends, and what we are engaged from the first day, it is receiving the humanitarian aid from abroad and trust, and help to distribute it to the different places in the Ukraine. And we continue this work. And what I want to add to the issues that my friends described. We must, when they ask us what we need, first of all, I think it is necessary to understand the directions of help that we need. First of all, of course, is medicines, but it is not only an issue of injured people. You must take into account that in territories that were liberated, in Kyiv region, in Cherkasy, in Chernigiv region, now in part of Sumy and Kharkiv region, this is not only problems of where people will live. Of course, the houses are destroyed, but there could be provided by shelters, by some other things, and we must also take into account that all infrastructure is damaged. So it is not only medicines for those who are injured, but for those who, for example, have normal diseases, I can say, such with heart, with stomach, or something else, because this is lack of medicines for that. This is lack of medical workers. This is destroyed medical institutions without necessary equipment, without the simplest equipment, such like tonometers or glucometers and some other equipment. There is need for surgery operations, for starting from the surgery tables and the sewing materials for that. And so this is one of the direction. And I expect that starting the autumn, we will think, we have to think about another direction. It is support for our school, because many children will return back to the places where they were living, where now schools doesn't exist, because as I have read in last statistics of our Ministry of Education, over 600 schools are destroyed completely. But it is absolutely necessary to provide children with opportunity to be educated. And also there are very simply things that people need. For example, the small ovens to prepare hot food in the places where they live, but now without gas, sometimes without electricity. And this all creates a wide field of potential assistance. And we are very thankful to all our Rotarian friends from the world who help us and who offer the help and who are interested as well as you do it today, because only in this way I know that I'm personally invited also for meeting with a club in Canberra and club in Berlin. So it is very, very, very various. And today I have called from Düsseldorf. So it is a lot to do for help Ukraine. And I do hope that all Rotarians from the world will be with us till the end of the war, till the end of reconstruction, and forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I just want to say two things there. Some of the equipment that you're referring to from the medical side of things and the, actually making life not just on the front line, but actually in everything else that is needed. John Philip and through the International Rotary Fellowship of Healthcare Professionals, please, there are some big ticket things there, some big amounts of money being needed. So it is an opportunity, you know, if you've got connections, whether it's through your club, through your community, through your business networks, if you've got connections where someone wants to make a specific donation for a specific piece of equipment, we've got much more opportunity for that. And, you know, absolutely, Rotarians are there for the long term. You know, it's about that sustainable efforts going forward. Sergei, anybody else from your team that would like to speak?
Yeah, maybe Boris can continue, but Olha is also prepared, I think, to have
yes, because I have no time to wait, because I must go. I'm on a duty, sorry, in the hospital between surgeries. Yes,
yeah,
if it is possible, and maybe I will. Yes, maybe ladies will go first. Maybe I will mention some details about our together work. As you hear, we built many bridges between different Rotary clubs, Rotarians, districts, Rotary districts, and fellowships as well. And the first fellowship which started to help us after we started, and the first meeting which we organized, it was the meeting of International Fellowship of Healthcare Professionals, because doctors, many of them are surgeons, they know the first needs, and we together with our medical group, because on the 10th of January this year, before war, we opened the Ukrainian branch of the fellowship, and the first of this work in January, we had only 16 persons, different medical doctors from different Rotary clubs as the members of this fellowship, and now we have 37 from 26 Rotary clubs from every region in our country, and as well we usually work together with special WhatsApp group and with usual weekly meetings with the leaders of this fellowship from 16 countries. And of course, every day it was a day we are online together with all representatives of 62 Rotary clubs of Ukraine. And I, as medical coordinator, of course, take care of this direction. And we are in touch not only with the doctors, Rotarians, but and many of them, these doctors are very famous in our country. They are the leaders of different medical hospitals, medical directors, heads of medical departments. Many of them are the members of both of our professional medical association, and I as well. And we contact, of course, not only with doctors, Rotarians and with Rotary clubs, but with our colleagues, non-Rotarians in different medical institutions in all parts of Ukraine. And of course, now the first focus is for medical hospitals and medical small units, military units in fields, because of this special war situation in our country, and not all information we could send you because of this secret law which we signed all doctors more than 1 month and a half ago. But we are in touch with different medical institutions, and many hospitals, you must know, work now not only military hospitals but civilian hospitals. Not only military hospitals, but civilian hospitals now work as military to help military and civilians who were wounded during these battles or during rocket and bombed attacks in the different parts of our country. And thanks to our together efforts with our foreign colleagues and foreign Rotarians, Rotary clubs, Rotary district, we did much, we do much, and I think we will do much in order to help our medical colleagues and all Ukrainians in our fight for freedom and independence. And we received several special medical cargos from Italy, from United Kingdom, from Germany, from Slovak, from all our border countries, neighbor countries, because on this border inside Ukraine and in neighbor countries we have special Rotary hubs, as we have the same Rotary clubs inside Ukraine, in central, in south Ukraine, in other parts of our country. And only together we work like a team, not only with medical group, but together with our logistic group, together with our WASH group, because the members of medical group are the members of WASH group as well. in order to help our WASH group to show how to help our medical institutions and hospitals, perinatal centers and maternity hospitals, to how to clean water in such conditions. And we work together with all districts and all representatives of 62 Rotary clubs, and invite everybody in our team, of course, and only together we are the fighting team. And I think if we will plan our activities together with our foreign friends in Rotary, it will be really good help, and in all world Rotary Help Ukraine program. Thanks very much. I will assist medical direction, and you may send me all questions. We will, together with our doctors Rotarians and our colleagues non-Rotarians, we will discuss and will send all list of needs, and as we did during last 3 months. Sorry.
Thank you very, very much. I think you're going to have to be going, and for all of you that are here, we will be carrying on. You are due to finish at 7. I'm very happy to continue on if we want to continue on, or if people are able to, but we can finish at 7. One thing I do want to make absolutely clear is, these are Rotarians that we are talking with here. These are people that are working through the Rotary network. They know what the needs are. They know as those needs change, and we know those needs change on an almost daily basis in some instances. They're the ones that are on the ground that know. What we need to be doing in Great Britain and Ireland is try and make sure that we are coordinating what we are doing in the best way possible to help them in the most effective way, because it is absolutely no point putting together a truckload of goods that are actually going to end up going to waste. We need to be getting the things that they need, where they need them and how they need them. Boris, you wanted to say something.
You probably said it for me, but I'll just add that we've been very lucky to be able to connect in a joint task force with your task force, with Allan and with Jannine, with a number of other colleagues, that we can actually articulate our needs through that structure, through that network, through your task force, and also bring into consideration the other questions that we haven't really talked about, which are the issues outside Ukraine, how the refugees are being looked after, what you can do to help the refugees, how I, through my network of Ukrainians in the UK, because having been born and brought up in the Ukrainian community in England, I have a lot of friends who are Ukrainian by origin around the UK. The communities, some of you may already have contacts or friends in the Ukrainian community around England who are doing an awful lot to help, and I believe that we can do a great deal more by connecting with the Ukrainian communities in the UK, both to help refugees who are in the UK, but also to understand what the Ukrainian communities are trying to do. And we've already started doing things that can potentially lead to cooperation between Rotary around the UK, Ukrainian community around the UK, and jointly do a lot more to help us over here in Ukraine.
Absolutely, Boris. I am conscious that we are at 10 to 7. We are due to finish at 7. I don't know if you want to continue, if you're able to continue beyond that. I'm just conscious we haven't had opportunity for anybody to ask questions, but perhaps it's more important to be hearing from them. I'm open to anybody that wants to ask questions. If you can use the reactions button to raise your hand, that would be really, really helpful. But I would like to just do a quick doodle poll if it actually works, because we try as a task force to communicate with you through a bulletin that we push out regularly, and there seem to be some glitches in people receiving them. Could you just answer this very simple question? Do you get to see the bulletins that we issue or not? So just a yes or a no. If at any time you've got any ideas on how we can improve our communications, we'd really be keen to hear from you, but we absolutely want to hear what you're doing as well. And we do, in that bulletin, there is a link to a form that you can use, an online form you complete to tell us what you're doing. A third don't get the bulletin at all. It's a really key thing. There is hopefully going to be available on the GB&I website, but you've got my email address, contact me, and I can share with you all of the bulletins through a very simple mind map. And the other question I want to ask, please, before we carry on, is do you want to have further meetings with the team from Ukraine or some of the team from the Ukraine? And if you do, how frequently would you like those meetings to be? Now, the team are very, very happy to be talking to you in other groups, specifically to your clubs or your area or your district. But I feel that by doing this through the GB&I peace discussions, then we've got an opportunity for it to be open to anybody that may not have those opportunities. So I'm just going to give it another 10 seconds and then I'm going to end the poll there. I'm just going to share those results with you as well. So very much the message is, yes, we do want to continue. So can I ask from your perspective, do you want to carry on giving us information, or should we take the rest of the time that we've got available for questions?
I think we are here for the benefit of participants from Great Britain and Ireland. If it is a need for questions, I see some hands already up. Maybe allow, and there were some questions in the chat. Maybe
okay.
we can answer, and then if time will allow, some people may comment in addition.
Okay, thank you. Raymond, if you'd like to unmute yourself.
I can do that. I do my video as well. Yeah, just quite quickly. I've been offered, and we've been trying to do something with it in our district. I've been offered. A friend of mine owns a transport company, and he has offered a 40-foot articulated lorry with all fuel costs covered, drivers covered, to take stuff out to Ukraine. Is that something that we still need? Or because listen to what we're saying, the sort of thing that is needed to what the guys from Ukraine are saying is not the sort of stuff we were sending out early on. So is that something that we can make use of, or should I advise my friend that it's something we're not going to be able to make use of in the short term?
We absolutely can make use of it, but we're working on that actively at the moment. Boris will come in as well. But what we want to try and do is to get more idea about what those offers are.
Yep.
And how will it practically work? Because the important thing with whatever we do is that we get the right stuff, that we know that we can get it across that stretch of water, and that we can get it through that border. And once it's in Ukraine, where it's going to. And these are the people that are actually making that happen on the ground. And we want to make their life as easy as possible and not complicate it by making it harder than it needs to be. Boris, do you want to come in on that?
Yeah, very much. Raymond, thank you very much for that, and thank you for the suggestion. Absolutely, it's something we need, and in fact the sooner that we can lock into that offer, the better. We already have a store of water filters that a Rotarian, Tony Quinn, I can't remember what it's called, Water Survival Box unit down near Bath, have, that we're looking for transportation to Ukraine. And without question, we will be able to fill an Arctic full of other really needed supplies if one is available. I put my contact details in the chat, Raymond. Do please feel free to reach out to me directly.
I certainly will. I was talking to Dave, the owner, only just about a week ago, and he was talking about what can be loaded on. It's up to 26 pallets of whatever's needed. Also, we were looking at various storage spaces in and around our area, so he hasn't got to go all over the country to pick up bits and pieces. We need various logistic placings around our area so he can pick them up and do it in one journey rather than all over the country.
Okay.
And where are you based?
Can we move that on? The answer is absolutely yes. Ray, get in touch with us. We are going to be putting out some more information around logistics, but you've got Alan, his contact details are always on the bulletins because he's at the top. You know me, get in touch. As a task force here in GB&I, we work very closely together, and we are now working much more closely with the Ukrainian team. So let's make it happen. Just very brief questions, please, Arthur.
To express my gratitude for your participation in the fate of refugees. My two daughters are now in London, in Enfield, and I saw the question of Gazala, whom she can contact to interpret something there. So I will write the contact of my two daughters. One is working for Christie's Auction Center house. She's a specialist in art and crafts. And my two grandchildren are in the school of Enfield, 5 years and 8 years. So they can help. They run a humanitarian hub at Trinity Church, and they are very successful. A lot of refugees with children, women, elderly people, they need help. So if you can connect, if you can join for their efforts, it will be great. I know that they know all the needs from the huge amount of our refugees from Ukraine. That's it. I will write the contacts. If you can contact them, please do it. They will be very happy to connect with you and to work together, because they know about Rotary from me during the 22 years. I'm in Rotary from 1999, so they know it's about just from childhood.
Thank you very much, Arthur, and I'm so pleased that there are people that are helping your family, and we mustn't forget that families have been split up, and you know the mental health aspect that everybody that must be going through that's involved. We have got a resilience team that are focused on what's happening with our guests in Great Britain and Ireland. So absolutely, you know, through the task forces, if there's anything that we can do, if there's particular people you want us to contact, we'd be very, very happy to do so. Are we going to continue beyond 7 o'clock, folks? Can you unmute yourselves and just yell out yes or no?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. No problem.
No, sorry.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I have to leave in 10 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, to those of you that are going to be leaving us, thank you very much for joining us. I think from the poll, I will definitely organise further meetings like this through the Peace informal chat sessions. Allan is our task force chair. If I could just get Allan to say a few words before he has to go, and then I'll come back to the people with their hands up. But before I come to you, Allan, Ola, you have your hand up again, and I know you're having to go off. So.
Yes, thank you very much. Very shortly, we'll be glad to see everybody during Houston Convention, because I will visit it. Best wishes for Ihor Kruk. I saw that he takes part in this online meeting from Canada. Maybe we will meet one more again in Houston, and I prepare a special presentation for the section of International Rotary Fellowship of Healthcare Professionals, and will be a speaker on this special section. And if you have medical specialists, doctors, colleagues, or all any members of your clubs or districts who will be during the convention days, I will meet them, and I think we will think together how to do in future our cooperation and new projects, Rotary projects for medical, and not only medical, for all directions which our district team manage in Ukraine with the help of all over the world friends in Rotary. Thanks very much. Hope to see you in Houston soon.
Thank you very much, and safe travels there, and Mykolaiv, and thank you for everything that you are doing. Allan.
Yes, unfortunately, I do have to go in a few minutes. I just want to thank you, Jannine, for organising the meeting. I think it's been an excellent meeting. The response to the poll, 86%, 82% wanting to have another meeting with our Rotarian friends in the Ukraine, shows how much it's been valued. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Jannine will close the meeting, of course, not me. And a special thank you to our friends in the Ukraine. And we'll see quite a lot of you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock at our meeting, because we have another meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning. So thank you ever so much for giving of your time.
Thank you, Allan, and thank you for everything that you do leading our team here in Great Britain and Ireland. Right, Jim, finally, it is your turn.
Yeah, thank you very much. My question is really about ShelterBox. ShelterBox has not been mentioned, and yet they say that they're working through Rotary. They certainly can provide wash type equipment, shelter equipment, and a lot of Rotarians give to ShelterBox. I wonder if any of the Rotarians from Ukraine can just make a comment if they are working with ShelterBox.
Sergii, do you want to answer that, or do you want me to say something?
I can say that for us, ShelterBox was a new program. Recently, we started to be more in contact with experts and representatives of ShelterBox, and cooperation already started. And we rely on the help from our Rotarians from GB&I, especially from the Taskforce, directly connected with ShelterBox, some of them, and they will help us to deal more efficiently with ShelterBox. Thank you for this question.
Maybe I can add a few words. First of all, at the beginning of the war, it was impossible to use ShelterBox's opportunities. First of all, because it could not be found the safety place to install shelters and organize it in one place. Now I can say that we have the experience of building such small territories with temporary houses. For example, in Lviv, there were constructed 3 such areas for about 1,000 people, and it is beginning, and maybe the opportunities of ShelterBox will be used more widely. I know that shelter kits were supplied and distributed in some places in liberated regions of Kyiv Oblast, and maybe later it will be used for a wider scale. And if it is possible, I want also give a short answer to the first question that was in chat. The question about the situation in schools of occupied territories. I don't know the program that Russian invaders plan to cancel the holidays or to change the programs, and first of all to introduce Russian language program in the schools. I know, but the question of contact Rotary clubs with Russian imposed administration has 2 sides. First of all, such administration, according to Ukrainian laws, are criminals, and it is not the good partner for contacts. From other side, as for today, only one of Ukrainian Rotary Club is on an occupied territory. It is Rotary Club of Kherson, and practically members of that club are now outside of Kherson, and they try to do their best to supply food for people in occupied region. So contacts of school on the occupied territories is not now the issue of consideration. Thank you.
Thank you for a very clear reply. Thank you.
May I also add the comment regarding, yes, thank you, regarding the schools in the occupied territory, because Mykolaiv is just, as I mentioned, you on the front line, and we are receiving people from Kherson, the occupied Kherson region, and occupied the city of Kherson. My sister, stepsister, she is the school, she is the school director in Kherson. She was evacuated and she decided to left her school because Russians, they're trying to force the school directors to work with them, to influence their families who have the kids. So there is no way in any case to talk to Russian invaders to somehow communicate with them. We are trying to use some opportunities to deliver medicine, food to the occupied territories. We are doing this, other volunteer teams are doing this. I want to say half of the volunteers who are trying to deliver the goods there, they don't come back. No dialogue with Russia, never. Sorry.
No, Artem, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That really puts into context what we are trying to support our fellow Rotarians to deal with and their colleagues, friends, family, etc. There is one point that James Onions, who's also a member of our task force, he's the ICC lead for Great Britain and Ireland. They are looking at the moment to charter a new ICC. In fact, it's overdue because of the situation, but between Great Britain and Ireland and the Ukraine, and they're also doing one with Bulgaria. But they are looking for interested Rotarians and Rotaractors who want to get involved with that ICC. And his email is in chat. It's james.onions@btinternet.com. So that's another way to really get close to what is going on. And also, you know, ICC is about long-term relationships and friendships and helping with that reconstruction and to that day when we can actually go and visit them and actually have some fun. Gordon.
Yes, thank you. I'd just like to say thank you to all our Ukrainian friends for giving us this. It's very emotional. It's very emotional listening to them. Especially to Artem there, you can actually feel the heartbreak that they're going through on that. And I'd just like to thank them for sharing that with us this evening. We just don't realise exactly what they're going through, and it's been a really, really eye-opener this evening on that. And I'd just like to ask, Jannine, you were saying a lot of the stuff that people were sending was getting wasted. I know at the very beginning there was knee-jerk reactions for everybody to send clothes and clothes and clothes and clothes. And it looks like we need, a lot of separate organisations were involved in this, and it looks like we need to involve them in exactly what the needs are now, because obviously the needs have changed to what they need. And as far as I can see this evening, what they need is medical supplies, water supplies, food seems to be coming into the equation as well. A lot of children over there, are they still going to need stuff for schooling? I know they're struggling there. Some of the friends did comment that there were 600 schools destroyed. So it's just a case of getting the message across as to what is required.
Absolutely, Gordon. Thank you. And everything that you've said is just so true. We have to remember that these are Rotarians just like you and me in clubs, just like yours and mine. And what they are doing and what they are achieving, it really puts into context how petty some of the things are that we get so hung up on, and whether it's helping around Ukraine or all the other amazing service work that we do through our clubs. It's by using our Rotary networks. We are one Rotary family, and we need to work with others as well, but let's try and do it in a coordinated way. Nan, would you like to say something? And I'm then just going to give it another few minutes and we'll bring it to a close.
It was just a very quick comment, Jannine. Thank you for that. I have to say thank you to all of our Ukrainian friends. It's really brought it home. You talked about ShelterBox, and I think we briefly touched on Water Survival Box, but there's also AquaBox. So if these are organisations within Rotary that could help you, then perhaps we could involve them and see if we can make it better for you. Absolutely, Nan, and that's part of the little water subgroup, the WASH subgroup that's been formed, and all of those box groups will be part of those discussions, but it's making sure
that we're getting the right stuff to the right people at the right time.
Absolutely.
You know, there's no point getting the wrong things there. James.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer Nan's probing question. Water Survival Box and Aqua Box are working together, and they're sending over about 600 Griffin filters, and are looking to do many more. I'm talking to ShelterBox, and they are beginning to work in the area around Kyiv. And let's see, who have I missed out? Disaster Aid are also getting involved, and Disaster Aid Europe has got a lorry that goes into Ukraine every day, or certainly several times a week.
Thanks,
so all of them are active.
Absolutely. And the important thing is, please let us know what you're aware of that's going on, because the more we can know what's going on, the more we can coordinate, the more we can put people in touch with each other, the easier it gets for us all. Sergei, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Jannine. I would like also to mention that we feel also a big hope of many people who are suffering right now. I returned to Kyiv recently, and I went yesterday to She Village, which is, we are looking now to start a special program to help people to survive next winter, because in a few months it will start cold time, and people are there, many people are without any house, any shelter, and they need to survive next winter. We need to think about this. This is a program we would like to start soon, and we will definitely deliver more information about this. That's why I'm really happy that it is an opportunity to talk with you. But I want to say that people stay there, even without any house. We brought with my wife some things because we heard that they need even some plates, spoons, forks, you know, because they don't have anything. And we were asking them why you are here, because this is our motherland and we want to stay here. We want to rebuild our houses, so the hope is there. And many people who escape from the country, they return back. We know it. They return to Kyiv. They return to places which were freed from occupation. And this hope gives us even more motivation to work further. First of all, to support our. I'm saying this as a citizen, our fighters, to stop this war from their military side, but also to help all the survivors, all people, all humanitarian aid to provide, to reestablish peace in this land and normal life. Thank you for what we are doing, and I'm really happy that it was an opportunity to talk to all of you, and I'm sure that we will find more topics to discuss during next meetings with most of you. And I support the idea very much of establishing ICC inter-country committee. We need to build a long-term relations with our brothers and sisters from Great Britain and Ireland. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for all you're doing. Nan, I just want to pick up on something you've put into the chat about that, you know, it's not just knee-jerk reactions to what is happening today. Absolutely it isn't. And, you know, the two task forces, we're working very closely together now. They're looking at the longer term, rebuilding the developing infrastructures or rebuilding infrastructures, and the needs for things like people coming back to their communities. I was talking to a Rotarian the other day, an elderly woman who moved to the UK as part of the refugee things, and she actually she's got her daughter and granddaughter settled in the UK. She's going back, and she's got nothing to go back to. There's, you know, it's a immediate, short, medium, and long term, and we will be there through the end. Boris, I'll leave you with the last word from Ukraine, and then I'll close the meeting.
Yeah, I just echo comments from my friends here in Ukraine that we really welcome this opportunity to speak with you. Clearly, we can't cover anything like all of the subjects we'd like to be able to speak about in one meeting, we're available, and we're very happy to meet you in this kind of group one-to-one. We speak to your clubs, join you online at your meetings. Any engagement that you want to have with us, we're available pretty much 24/7. So we've shared our information. Jannine can pass on our contact details. Do reach out. We can get closer and closer to you, help you to help us, and continue the great support that you're providing for us.
Thanks very much, Boris. And Nan, yes, I have seen that it could well be a long-term war. Let's just all pray, or whatever we do, to feel that that's not going to be the case. But whatever the situation is, I'm sure that there will be Rotarians around the globe that will be there to support. I really am going to bring the meeting to a close now. I do want to thank you very much. I will definitely go ahead and make sure that we have regular meetings like this, and maybe we have them on particular subjects and with particular subject matters. Someone has said, could it please vary the day? From my perspective, we need to make the day the one that the Ukrainians can make. So we have to fit in with your calendar, not you fit in with us. So I will liaise with you separately, Sergei and Boris, and make that happen. So, please make sure that you get access to your bulletins from the task force. If you haven't been getting them, please talk to your district governor or your district secretary, because they should be getting them out to all of you. You've got my email address. I can give you the link to the mind map where you can get all of the bulletins and all of the key information, which is updated regularly. It's just a link that you copy and paste into any internet browser, and you will, using that, you will then see the then current information. So that's a very simple way of doing it. Please don't forget our meeting on the 18th of June, the peace seminar. We are all peace builders, because I believe that actually the things that we're going to learn and the ideas that we're going to come away with from that seminar will help to make the things that we are doing for the Ukraine and for everywhere else, for Ukraine, not for the Ukraine, Boris. I do apologize. Don't say for the Ukraine, folks. It is Ukraine. So for Ukraine and anywhere else we're doing, that seminar will be a real eye-opener, and it's an opportunity to get members of your community to be joining us as well for that meeting, because it is something relevant to every human being on planet Earth, because we are one human race and we have only got one planet, and we need to work together to bring peace. So I'd like to bring the meeting to a close. Huge thanks to everybody from Ukraine, and how you do what you do so tirelessly and so selflessly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we are here for you. And thank you to everyone for what you are doing. Please encourage others to join our meetings, because we want that message to get out far and wide. Thanks very, very much. Bye, folks.
Thank you, Jannine.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
Amazing.
you, Jannine. I'll be in touch.
Thank all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jannine.
Bye, everyone. Thanks,
Bye.
Jannine.
Thank you, Jannine.